Welcome to Keiser Voices, the story of success, brought to you by Keiser University Graduate School, here where the academic world meets personal triumph. Join us today as we dive into the captivating tales of success.
Welcome, everybody, to another wonderful episode of Keiser Voices. We want to first off, before we introduce today's guest, give you guys a brief explanation where we've been the last couple of weeks. As we know, we haven't put out any new episodes, and we're so sorry that we have not connected with you. But in the last few weeks, we had an opportunity to celebrate our alumni and our recent graduates with an alumni event and our 2025 ceremony. We had the honor of meeting over 500 people at our alumni event, plus getting to see over 420 students walk the stage. 65 of them were doctoral students. It's our favorite time of the year, but of course, that unfortunately means we had to take a step back from rolling out some new podcast episodes. But we're back. We have a lot of things planned for you guys for the next few months, and we're hoping that you like where we pick up. And we're picking up and continuing on with Hispanic Heritage Month. So joining us is our Associate Dean for the Latin Division, Ms. Karina. Karina, thank you so much for being on with us.
Thank you, Heather, for having me today. And it's my pleasure to be here and talking a bit more about the Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you so much.
So we really wanted to pick your brain, Dean Karina, about the role that education plays in empowering the Hispanic community. But before we do, can you tell us a little bit about what Hispanic Heritage Month means to you, not just personally, but also professionally?
Of course. Well, Heather, I really value Hispanic Heritage Month because it is a recognition of our Hispanic community and the contributions that we have made for many years and we continue to make in this country. For me, it's also a way of recognizing the other, of embracing diversity and giving us that sentimental space in a nation that has given us too many opportunities. I believe it's important not only to recognize, to celebrate the Hispanic community, but also others, to value others' communities that in the same way come here to work hard and build a better future.
When we talk about education, with your experience, being a dean here at the institution for the Latin Division, how does education empower the Hispanic communities and open doors for their future generations?
That's a great question. I've been at Keiser University for 10 years. I was in admissions before, as you know, and now I am in the academic side, but definitely education is the foundation of so many things. It gives us knowledge, confidence, and the ability to create opportunities not only for ourselves, but also for others, for the others that come after us, right? For the Hispanic community, education is a bridge to break barriers, to be heard, and to contribute fully to the society. I always remember Nelson Mandela once said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And that's true. For our communities, it is also the key to opening doors for future generations, for us and the next generations.
That's a very important point that you put about the future generations. We want to set an example. I don't want to say expectation, but set the example for our children, for others, whether we talk about the Hispanic community or even just our community in general, or personal family, friends. But given that we are talking about Hispanic communities, are there challenges that they face, when they're looking for educational opportunities? And is there anything that institutions like Keiser can do to help overcome them?
Definitely, Heather, when I came to the United States many years ago, I remember that my English was in 10% or 20%, and I had to study the language, of course. That happens to our students and our communities. I think it's the first challenge that we face, that they face. And another challenge is the fast-paced lifestyle that we live here, balancing work, family, personal responsibilities, sometimes problems that come with everything, which can make maybe the pursuing a degree feel overwhelming, right? But Keiser University, for example, is a great institution that offered to our community over 21 programs in Spanish. We are adding more in this year and for next year, of course. So we have the flexibility to adapt education to our schedules in Spanish with accreditation, and that is truly powerful, right? So also having access to a degree in our language not only removes barriers, but also gives us tools and resources to move forward in this country and create better opportunities for ourselves, families, and as you said before, future generations.
What do you see for the future when it comes to education shaping leaders and making a difference in their communities?
Uh, I think by giving them not only knowledge, but also the vision and confidence to create positive change in this country and why not the world? When people are educated, they gain the ability to think critically, to solve problems, to understand the needs of others, of their communities, and act with purpose. I think this is very important. If you see something when you can help others, I mean, you can act with purpose. So leaders who come from an educational foundation are better prepared to inspire others and to build opportunities that go beyond themselves. Through education as well, we're not just preparing individuals, we are preparing agents of change for the entire communities. So it's a big change.
That's amazing. And such a valid point, especially when we're talking about, Hispanic students who are starting over, like you mentioned. You mean you shared your story yourself, and facing challenges, and just what education can do to help them, like, be that example or have that better future for not them but the future generations. What message then would you share with Hispanic students who are striving to reach their goals and create this change through education?
Go for it. Sometimes, we face challenges, many challenges, as we talked before, but we need to believe in ourselves, believe in yourself. We need to set clear goals and stay disciplined in pursuing your dreams. It can be possible. We can make them possible. So, but we need to work hard, and requires dedication and hard work and love and passion. So go for it because we can make it possible.
Before we let you go, Dean Karina, I want to talk about one other topic, because it aids to your conversation about trying to help other generations, trying to empower, trying to help them become agents of change, leaders in their community, and pursuing, that educational goals that they have. But you're no stranger to podcasts. You're actually the me on our Latin division version of Keiser Voices. So you're the host. You ask all the questions. Can you tell us a little bit about the Latin division podcast that you have been producing with Miss Lobo, who also produces this podcast? Can we hear a little bit about it?
Of course, of course. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience for the Latin division, for academic, for faculty, and of course, I couldn't make it possible without Adriana. Adriana has been there every month that I talk to her. But we started with this project in January. So what we do is record a podcast every month. So we have now like series. So we are talking about one specific theme or topic, and then we create sub chapters for the rest of the topics that we have. So we started talking about the experience as a Latin division student, and we normally have professors, we have students, active students, graduate students, we have people from other departments because what we want is basically help others, not only students, but people from our communities. We talk about how to be successful in the United States in the first 5 years, and we are talking now about how to stay motivated being a student, an online student, so and things like that, right? I think it's very important because in that way we can make a difference. People that are watching the podcast can see our recommendations. They can see maybe how can they study in the United States, how can they get their diploma from us, for example, or from another university. So yeah, that's what we are doing every month. So we pick one student, we pick another professor, and we talk about different topics with samples, with recommendations, with advices, and I think has been very, very popular. We have good feedbacks from the podcast, so from people that are watching the podcast. So it's been amazing, and I
That's
hope that we can
awesome.
make more episodes and more chapters in the future.
And we're definitely going to include a link for everybody below this episode. So that way, if you guys want to check out the Latin Vision podcast, you guys can go back and start at the beginning of the series. So your first series, when will it wrap up before we move into the second series or the next set of chapters?
In general, we try to post the new episode every month and a half or something like that, because it takes time just to create the questions, you pick up the time, the date and the time where everybody can be there. And then Adriana needs time to edit the episode. So that's why we do, trying to have one at least for every month.
So thank you, Dean Karina, for joining us today on the Keiser Voices podcast and speaking to us about Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm here if you have more questions about Latin Division, about whatever you want to know about us. And Heather, thank you so much. You know that it's amazing to be here with you and Adriana.
And if you guys have enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow. And we're going to catch you on the next one as we continue our conversation on Hispanic Heritage Month.
Thank you for journeying with us today on Keiser Voices, the story of success. As we close this chapter, remember every story has its next page.